Now we've got some admin features to have a look at. We've got a new option called View All Fields that we'll see in permission sets and profiles. We've got new list views for permission sets and roles. We've got a new welcome email. We've got some love added to work orders and work order line items. We've got improvements to list views for users. We've also got the ability to sort list views and also related lists. Some of that was available before, now it's GA. And finally, we've got an improvement on identity verification, which solves a little bit of a headache there as well.
A little bit.
A little bit. Okay, so I'll hand it over to you, Tim. Hit the right button. Okay, over to you, and let's have a look at these admin features. And we'll start firstly, okay, so we're in a permission set, and you'll see down in the object permission section there.
Oops. There we go.
We've got a new option that Tim's ticked there called View All Fields. Now, what this means is it gives the user that this permission set's applied to read-only access to all fields for this object, and all fields that are created in the future as well, which is kind of nice, and I'll explain that one a little bit in a minute. You'll also notice that the existing View All and Modify All have got the word records added to the end of them, because otherwise we would have had two with View All, and that would have been a bit confusing. Now, one place where I see this View All would be really handy is, let's say you've got a backup tool, maybe you've got Own Backup or one of those other third-party tools, and you've set up a permission set to back up all the objects, okay, to make sure that this user has access to every object and every field. And then, of course, the developer comes along and adds half a dozen new fields and forgets to give that permission set access to those fields. And of course, 6 months' time, when you try to do a restore of your backup because some disasters happened, those fields are not in there. Okay, so this View All Fields, what I would do is I would create an object. A permission set for the backup user, and I would make sure that every object has that View All Fields checked. That way, as new fields are added in the future, that user still has read-only access for them.
There we go.
All right, so that's our View All Fields. While we're looking at permission sets, Tim, we've got a new list view.
Oh, fresh lick of paint. That's what we like to see.
Welcome to the modern world. It doesn't look like classic anymore.
About time. How good is that?
Oh, it's the small wins, isn't it?
We love a good quality of life upgrade.
Okay, so we've got filter capability, and we've also got the option to select the fields that we want as well. As long as we're not choosing the all permission sets, yeah, we need to use one of the custom ones.
How about this super cool custom list view that I prepared earlier?
There we go. And we can select the fields that we want to display, and we can choose who we share that list view with as well. Okay, so all the things that you can normally do with list views. Cool. Okay.
Beautiful.
Now, I hear that we've also got the same thing in roles, Tim.
Oh, look at that. We love a fresh lick of paint, don't we? There could be nothing possibly that's not so positive about something like this. Hey.
Oh, hang on. There's something missing here. There's something missing.
What have I missed? Oh, where's the hierarchy?
Yeah, the hierarchy's missing. Look, there's not even a button. Show me the hierarchy. There's no...
oh, no, those aren't clickable. What's going on here?
Oh, no.
Nothing. How do we fix that?
Well, can we turn this off? How do we turn this off?
We could. Well, I think it'll be in user management settings. We scroll down a little bit to the bottom here, and we can see enhanced role list view. If I turn that off...
Oh, you're a champion.
There we go. And I will have to, something I'll note, I'll have to navigate away from it. It's not just a refresh, because they have also given us a new spot, a new page. So URL. So if I refresh this, it'll give me an error because I've basically just turned off that page, even though I'm still navigating to it. Yep. I'll jump over to a different page like perm sets, and then finally back to roles. And there we go. Oh, there's
Oh,
our.
we're back again.
That's what we like to see. Okay. Well,
so yeah, it's a great new feature, but they only did half the job, eh?
that's it. That's it. Onwards and upwards. But hopefully, we'll see an enhancement to that where we get the hierarchy back in the next release.
All right. Okay. Now, new user welcome email. I believe this one's a bit tricky to find it. It's under session. I'm not sure why it ended up in there, but anyway. So down the bottom of session settings. So this is the email that a user gets to when you've created a new user account for them. So here's your brand new user, their first time ever, Salesforce user, and they get that standard email message from Salesforce. Now you can customize it and you can create your own template, and you can also set the number of days until that link expires as well.
So it can be 1, 7, and 180 days are your options there. That's how long the account verification link remains valid for.
Right. Okay. And you've also can customize that template. So you can create your own template. If you leave that blank, then they'll get the standard email. Okay. But if you put something in there, go create a template, reference it there, then they'll get that email. All right, let's move along. Work orders and work order line items apparently got a bit of love, Tim.
Here we go. Here's a work order.
All right, so where we see the difference here, so this is now LWC enabled, so Lightning Web Components, which means it's got all the dynamic goodies. Okay, so if we can go into setup and we go edit page, we'll see what those are. And there's 4 of them. So when an object is, and most of the objects are now done. So like accounts, contacts, leads, opportunities, cases, all those, most of them are done. Campaign and campaign members is a bit of a sore point. That's not done yet. But when they are done, one of the things that I know straight away is I look here at the list of components and I go down to dynamic related list single. If that's there, then I know it's been done.
There we go.
So we get dynamic related lists when it's LWC enabled. We also get dynamic forms. And one of the things that shows us that we've got dynamic forms is we get that fields tab up there, and we can drag fields into our dynamic form. And basically you can break the whole form into individual components field by field. Okay. And you can apply component visibility and stuff to that. So that's 2 of the dynamic features so far. The third one is we've got a dynamic header section called what's that called, Tim?
Highlights panel, isn't it? Not header.
That's
there we
the
go.
one. Yes, highlights panel.
I typed header as well.
Okay, so the highlights panel is dynamic, and now it looks there initially the same as the one below. The one below is the dynamic one. It looks the same as the one above, but you can actually add 12 fields into there. So that's the third one. So we got dynamic forms, dynamic list views, dynamic
actions
highlighter, and then the fourth one is dynamic actions. Okay, where we bring these buttons in the header across into the Lightning App Builder, and we can turn those on and off in here. So once you get an object to this stage, basically you can do pretty much everything in the Lightning App Builder then, because you don't need to go back to your page layout unless you've got some obscure use, all right? And you've also got the option here to use conditional formatting on these as well. All right. Okay. Now, while we're talking about list views, users also got a list view upgrade as well, Tim.
Yes, it did.
So if we're back in setup looking at users.
There we go. Nice and modern again.
So we've got list views here for users, and you've also got the capability of, and I think this is the newer part, is we've got inline editing here as well.
That's it.
Which you didn't have before.
If I select the right list view, it's this one. No, hang on. Oop, nothing like a live demo. There we go. Found one.
So not all fields are available or are editable. Okay, you'll see some of them turned off. All right, so that's the list view for users. So we've got a bit of extra love there as well. While we're talking about list views, Tim, can we go and have a look at maybe an account or something like that? Or maybe the work order, that one would do.
Work order. Oh, beautiful. Let me, hang on. I will go to accounts. I didn't have I pinned that one, that work order.
That's all right. Accounts will do. Burlington Textiles, yep.
Let's go to all accounts. There we go. All
Okay,
right, what's new, Daryl?
So in our list views, on the right-hand side, you've got a double-headed arrow. Yeah, this multiple column sort. So by selecting that, you can now choose up to 5 columns, and you can sort them ascending or descending. Okay, so there we've got a number of them. So yeah, 5. So let's apply that and let's have a look. Or you can delete them, yeah, if you want to take them away. So we've got 2 now. So we've got account name and then type.
Beautiful.
Okay, and you'll see the arrows in them. So arrow beside account name and type sorted the other way around as well. Okay, so there's multiple column sort. And so that's in a list view, but we also get it in a related list as well. So if we choose Burlington, hopefully we've got some contacts for them, have we?
We have one.
We have one. Okay, that's enough to be able to see it.
That'll do.
I don't think that's where we want to go, Tim.
No, not to the dynamic related list.
Mm-hmm. No, we'd see it back on our record. We can just go back. No, we want to go to contacts and view all, Tim. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, wow. So I don't even need to go to the Lightning App Builder to do this. How good.
No, and there you go. There's your sort for your related list.
How easy is that?
All right, so you got the same thing on a related list as you had on a list view, but just you got to go to that view all. And so now we're sorted on 2. If we go back to Burlington, just so that we can see that on our related list of contacts. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, you can see the 2 of them. Yep.
That might have been, yeah, I should clean this up, but I think I said a different one last time. That's why we're seeing that.
Okay, yeah. So there you can see the related list is sorted as well. All right, last one. Tim, can you go to setup identity verification? We've got a new feature here. Here we are. Okay, now if your company uses an email scanning service, and Barracuda is one that comes to mind, but there's a whole bunch of other ones where they're scanning your emails for viruses and stuff like that. And if you've been sent like a password reset or something like that, what happens is that's like a single-use token. And by that email tool scanning it, that basically consumes that single use. And so anybody who's had this problem would have spent quite a bit time trying to debug and work out what the hell's going on, and that's the cause of the problem. Now, this identity verification setting avoids this problem. And Tim, the actual setting is where? Down the bottom, isn't it? Display a confirmation page. There it is.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
I'll scroll to the bottom of the page.
That one there, display a confirmation page during password reset. So what this does is when the user goes to do their password reset, they have to click another button to say confirm. And because the email scanning background tool can't do that, then it doesn't invalidate that email. Okay. So
that wasn't that small headache that you mentioned before, was it?
Yes.
Oh, man, that's a massive feature.
So that solves it. Oh, look, anybody who's been chasing it down, trying to work out what the hell was going wrong would go, yes, bingo. If you haven't had this problem, if you don't have an email scanning service, then and you've never experienced this problem, well, fine. But look, I would say to everybody, go tick that box in your Spring 25 because it'll solve some problem in the future.
100%. Do we know, actually, off the top of your head, Daryl, if that is going to be enabled by default? Because I remember facing a similar issue with welcome emails for new dev orgs. I'd be curious to know if that will be solved by default.
Yeah, not sure on that one.
I believe it is. But from memory, I believe it is. But yeah, that's
it would make
huge,
sense,
huge,
wouldn't
huge
it?
upgrade.
Because if you don't turn it on, then a lot of people would never find it. Unless you're like us and during the treasure hunt you go digging for these things, comparing orgs side by side to try to find out where the new features are.
That's
might never find it.
100%.
All right. Well, this is Apex Hours, and yeah, even though we're the flow guys, we're happy to talk about Apex Hours, and we've talked for almost an hour, so it's not the flow 30 minutes, it is the Apex Hour.
There we go.
So there's a quick summary just to finish off. I'll just show that final screen again, just to summarize what we've just seen on the admin features. Okay, so we had our view all fields, really helpful for that backup user or anybody where you want to make sure that all new fields that they always at least got read-only access to. That's a really handy one and that's available on both permission sets and profiles. Talking about permission sets, we saw that they've got list views now. We've also got the list view on the roles, even though it's missing the hierarchy. I'm sure that that's going to come soon. Anybody from Salesforce listening, that should be on your next sprint, hopefully. just a button or an icon. Let us click that little icon to see
and it
the
exists
hierarchy.
too. That hierarchy functionality exists on accounts and all that. That'd be really, really cool to see.
That's right. If you've enabled or if you've set up a hierarchy of accounts before, or cases for that matter, then that sort of technology exists. It's not as if it's some new rocket science. Okay, our new user welcome email. So when your new user is joining your company, you can send them the conditions that apply. And what else did we see? We saw some love added to work orders and work order line items by enabling them with LWC. Still missing the campaigns and campaign members, but I do note that in the release notes, they were a multi release effort to get those up. So maybe in the next release, that was in one of the roadmaps. Enhanced list view for users, that includes inline editing, being able to sort list views and related lists. Now, I didn't mention before, but that feature, sorting those list views and related lists, the object needs to be LWC enabled. So now that work orders is, you'll be able to do that on work orders. Of course, you will. Yeah.
I'm sorry. You go.
All of your standard objects are already done. So, or the majority of the standard objects. So all of your accounts and contacts, opportunities, cases, etc., are already done. So that will work for those. It's only just a few stragglers that haven't got the LWC love yet.
I think it's probably worth pointing out as well that feature, as of Spring 25, is in beta. That list view one.
Correct. And then finally, the identity verification. That's that checkbox. Which, if you're using an external email scanning service, will save you a bit of grief.
Massive amounts of grief. It's a sore point. That one. I love that one.
So that's it. We've got lots of love and a couple of things that missed a little bit of love and need a little bit of work. But I don't know. And a scorecard out of 10, what do you reckon, Tim?
I thought Spring 25 was a big release. There was a lot of quality of life changes. There was some quite big, foundational changes as well. I think, it's something that was noticeable, probably because of the vastness of the release was those little flaws or those little missing, incomplete bits that certainly don't put down the upgrade at all. But, there's always that little bit of room for improvement that has come up a little bit, particularly with things like, missing hierarchy and roles. But it's definitely a big release. I feel like this is one of the bigger ones we've seen for a little while.
Sounds like my high school report card, There's always room for improvement.
Oh, that was the header of my high school report card.
All right. So that's Tim and Daryl's Spring 25 overview. I hope you've enjoyed it. And maybe if we're lucky, we'll be back in the next release to talk to you again in in Apex hours.
That's
Okay.
it. That's it.
Goodbye from me.
Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you watching.